In the year 1940, the first Dairy Queen opens up in Joliet, Illinois by Sherb Noble as an ice cream place before becoming a barbecue place. The idea behind Dairy Queen was, as the name suggests, selling ice cream, and it started off pretty successful, opening more locations by the year. But there was another struggle, and it was that World War II was taking place, and it was much harder to get a hold of freezer supplies. The popularity of Dairy Queen was expected to be short since it wasn't exactly the best time to sell ice cream, but J.F. McCullough and his son Alex and the managers of the first location, Jim and Elliot Gray, started making more locations with the idea of soft-serve ice cream in mind. There were still only 17 stores open, but thanks to the McCulloughs, 83 more locations opened by the end of 1947. A year later, a Dairy Queen Trade Association was inserted in Davenport, Iowa, put together as a corporation by store owners of different locations, and then started to expand the menu. In 1949, banana splits and milkshakes were added, and in 1950, there was a drastic change. For 10 years, Dairy Queen was known for the goodness of soft-serve ice cream cones and frozen treats. But 1950 was a big year for them since they introduced the brazier system. This allowed room for hot dogs, fries, burgers, and of course, their signature soft-serve drinks. While things were looking pretty good for Dairy Queen, it didn't exactly stay that way. In 1953, Alex McCullough left the office completely, causing the Dairy Queen National Trade Association to lose enforcement of the company policies in 1954. Alex's son, Hugh McCullough, entered office this year with Harry Axon and Hal Oltz, who, by the way, was already in office, in an attempt to get the company back into the swing of things. And did it work? Nope! Oltz was having trouble operating stores since his patent on the freezers expired, and Hugh McCullough filed a lawsuit against the franchisees for usage of the trade name. And then shortly after, Axon filed a lawsuit of his own. Oh, look at that! Dairy Queen serves onion rings now. But the corporate office workers are still in complete chaos. McCullough gained trade name rights in 1962 after a struggle for power between Axon and Oltz. But then Burt Myers entered office as chairman, and Gilbert Stein became president. This didn't work out that well either, because, well, I don't know, things happen, I guess. $2 million were lost from investment failure. Then in 1972, Stein and Myers left, but they were replaced by Bill McKinstry as co-chairman and Harris Cooper as president. McKinstry didn't last long, though, as he gave up his position to John Moody in 1976. This was the turning point for Dairy Queen, since the company ended up having some of its best years. In 1980, the peanut butter parfait was introduced, and then in 1990, sales of the Blizzard drink and a few new others were through the roof. Thanks to campaigning and whatnot, the company entered a constantly upward spiral, and from what I know, there were not any more difficulties in office, and it was all smooth sailing. Besides, this video would be too long if I looked into any of that, and it's supposed to be a brief history, not like the entire history of Dairy Queen. So in other words, I'm lazy. Goodbye.